Diane Keaton's passing felt like a sudden blackout on a Hollywood stage, lights dimming, echoing emptiness where her laughter once lived. On that crisp morning of October 11th, 2025, in her quiet Brentwood home, Diane drew her last breath in the armchair she claimed decades earlier, its cushions still imprinted with the weight of a life built on vulnerability and daring. The world paused. Fans clutched vintage film reels. Students in theater basements froze mid-rehearsal. And somewhere in New York, a lone pianist let the final chord of "Something's Gotta Give" hang in the air, unanswered. How does one bid farewell to a woman who made us feel seen in our loneliest hours? She was more than an icon. She was a revolution in turtlenecks, a champion of imperfection. Born on January 5th, 1946, Diane Hall entered the world under Tinseltown's relentless glare, yet wore anonymity like a cloak. Her mother, Dorothy, had once secured beauty pageant crowns and accolades, her choreography of perfection hiding quiet temptations to yield. Diane watched that carefully coached smile play for the audience, and in the hush between applause, she vowed, "I will not live my mother's life." That silent rebellion flickered in her eyes as a child, tiny defiance that craved truth over polish. In high school, she discovered a mirror in Blanche Dubois, trembling with fear, yet shouting necessity. "I don't want realism. I want magic." That raw revelation propelled Diane from the safe streets of Los Angeles to New York City on a shoestring and a dream. Manhattan in 1966 greeted her with icy laughter. She rented a shoebox apartment above a radiator shop that coughed steam at dawn. By day, she balanced water glasses and daydreams at Joe Allen's restaurant. By night, she dug through audition notices and preserved hope like a newborn. Not the type, directors murmured, eyes glazed with preconceived tropes. Yet she slung her own kind of truth across the casting table. Awkward turns, spontaneous freeze, and an electric authenticity that left casting chairs unsettled. She found sanctuary in off-Broadway's beating heart, singing backup in folk clubs, scraping money together to buy a bagel and believe again. Her breakthrough came when a young director needed a face unrefined for his new musical, Hair. She stumbled into the audition with paint on her jeans and unapologetic candor. "Don't change a thing," he told her after her first lyric cracked the microphone's confidence. On that stage, she transformed nervous tremors into kinetic beauty. The audience exhaled, and in that exhale, Diane learned that perfection would never hold a candle to truth. Hollywood came calling with a tremor in 1972, The Godfather. As Kay Adams, she embodied grace under threat, her calm harbor hiding storms. In her eyes, Michael Corleone saw the life he sacrificed and the warmth he abandoned. She spoke few words but left an echo. Love tainted by power is fragile. 5 years later in Annie Hall, Annie's quirkiness shattered conventions. Oversized sweaters, stolen glances at the camera, hesitant laughs that broke through facade. She didn't beg for sympathy. She reclaimed the right to be uneven, hilarious, and heartbreakingly human. When she accepted her Oscar, she wore her nerves like a badge. And while the world applauded, her heart traced empty rooms in her mind, asking, "Is this what it feels like to matter?" Love found her between sound stages in 1971. Al Pacino, rumpled, intense, burning with possibility, offered quiet solidarity in a motel room between takes. He painted dreams over stale studio air, pasta dinners on lit street corners, laughter weaving through crowded cafes, little footprints dancing between them. They were convinced their love was epic, immortal as celluloid. Yet in Rome's golden dusk, Diane asked, "Marriage or goodbye?" And silence answered. She flew home before dawn carrying fresh heartbreak in her suitcase. Months later, her father succumbed to his own silence. Grief tore through her like a windstorm, shredding the final tapestry of her youth. The cameras never lied, but neither did they heal. In the mid-1980s, she receded from the spotlight. Offers piled up, but scripts whispered stereotypes. She locked herself in a West Hollywood bungalow, facing blank pages at 3 a.m., rewriting her story on her own terms. "The applause fades," she told a young actress one late afternoon, "but the work saves you." She found solace in forgotten crafts, restoring crumbling houses block by block, painting over decay with vibrant strokes, much like she had once painted flawed women onto screens. She adopted 2 boys in 1990, Dexter and Duke, hearing her own heartbeat race with each scraped knee, bedtime story, and spontaneous dance party in the living room. In their laughter, she discovered a love that endured, unspooling fear with every bedtime whisper. Reemergence came in singed embers. In 1997's Father of the Bride, she reinvented herself as a comic force, a mother bending rules with fierce tenderness. Critics hailed her as radiant proof that reinvention is the lifeblood of art. She moved fluidly between comedy and drama, refusing to be boxed in. A decade later, she directed Lost in Translation's Romantic Whispers, and before that, captured the weight of history in The First Wives Club. Each role traced the same truth: vulnerability is strength, and laughter is love's echo. Then came the AFI tribute. The Kodak Theater glowed like a cathedral, heavy with anticipation. Al Pacino, silver-haired and trembling, walked to the microphone. His voice cracked. "Diane, I love you more than words can hold." The audience rose as one heartbeat. She sat center stage, cheeks glistening with unshed tears, lips curved in gratitude for a love that had once unraveled her. That night she stood triumphant, not as a star, but as a testament. Some loves become ghosts that wander our edges, gentle but insistent, reminding us who we once were. Her final sanctuary was a Brentwood estate she called the Quiet House. Its gardens, once barren, bloomed under her gaze. Lavender thick as dusk, sage whispering secrets at dusk, wildflowers where neighbors trimmed neatly. Each morning she roamed barefoot, journal in hand, speaking to trees with the urgency of missed conversations. "I'm here still." Her walls bore photography of abandoned motels in Nevada, peeling paint in Detroit, roadside chapels in Texas, artifacts of human abandonment echoing her own refugee heart. She chose those fragile places because she recognized their fractures as home. On October 11th, in the hush of dawn, she closed her journal mid-sentence, tea still steaming on the side table. A final heartbeat whispered through her chest, and then, quiet. Her caretakers found her in the armchair near the window, face turned toward the first rays of sun. There was neither pain nor struggle, only the serene absence of breath. When news broke, social media convulsed. Turtleneck tributes blossomed on sidewalks outside Los Angeles theaters. Fans draped mannequins in oversized sweaters, left Polaroids of favorite scenes at her gate, and projected Annie Hall clips onto brick walls at midnight. Students in drama schools shared TikToks of their interpretations of her iconic shrug. Hollywood icons lined up to pay homage. Meryl Streep called her a fearless pioneer of vulnerability. Viola Davis deemed her the author of empathy, and Greta Gerwig described her as our compass in a world craving the courage to be real. Her estate, widely hushed in her lifetime, revealed quiet philanthropy. Millions donated to historic restoration, grants for emerging filmmakers, scholarships for children of theater workers. She believed in breathing life back into broken things, in art's power to salvage lost voices. To her son, she left a simple request: don't sell the garden. Let it run wild. That's where I'll wait. And in the ivy-choked courtyard, lavender and sage still reached skyward, tasting morning dew, refusing to be tamed. Diane Keaton's legacy transcends awards and accolades. It lives in every woman who unwraps her vulnerability and wears it like armor, in every artist who discovers that broken poetry can heal, and in every heart brave enough to stand imperfect under unforgiving spotlights. She taught us that silence can scream louder than applause, that fear can be sculpted into art, and that love, fleeting or eternal, can light even the darkest rooms. As long as there are turtlenecks rustling in cinema aisles and unvarnished truths whispered on stage, there she remains, immutable, unbreakable, and eternally alive.